Hello, this is Chad Payne with Lens Software. In this video, we're going to take the setup process a step further. In the previous video, we set up our first RTX project in Visual Studio. In this video, we're going to take that project we created and we're going to use it as a template to create new projects. So anytime we want to create a new RTX indicator, this is the process I recommend you go through. I'm going to provide you with what I'm calling the xyzDemo0 source file .cpp file, and that's a source file that I've trimmed down so that you don't have to rip out a bunch of stuff. It's trimmed down to the very basics that you'll be able to build up on. So in the prior setup video, we made sure we had Visual Studio installed and InvestorRT installed, and we went through the complete process step by step of setting up the project in Visual Studio. If you didn't see that video, you probably want to watch that one first before you move on to this. Now in this video, we're going to make a template out of that project and create a new project based on that template. Now this is a video some of you may want to skip for now and come back to later. In the next video, I'm going to start getting into actual coding. Okay, that's when we start getting into the functions and going over the controls and the drawing and the calculations. So you may just want to dig into that. I'm going to build upon the last project we created, which has a lot of good source code already in place to test with. So I'm going to start using those videos to build upon that. Now this video is going to tell you how to go back and after you've learned all those things, kind of create your own project. You can do it hand in hand, but this is going to tell you how to kind of create a bare bones project that you can build up from. So you may want to move on to those other videos, come back to this one later. It's up to you. Okay, so what you see right now is where we left off. We completed the project creation. We got a clean compile, so we've got a fully developed project here. Okay, now let's create a template from the project we've already worked on. That way all the work we did to create that project gets encapsulated in that template, so we want to go through that next time. I'm going to choose File, Export Template. I'm going to choose Project Template, and we'll just leave this. You can call this whatever you like, but we'll leave it as XYZ Demo 1. Actually, this is asking what project would you like to create the template from. So yeah, we're going to use our XYZ Demo 1 project we created in the last video. And here it asks for the name of the template. I'm going to leave it the same. You can call it XYZ Demo Template, whatever you want to. And I'm just going to hit Finish here. And I'm going to leave the default location. That's fine. And then it should present. So there's a template. You can see where it's located. That's not really important. All right, let's go back to Visual Studio and just close this. I'm going to close this solution and do a new one. So File, New Project. And this time, when you choose Visual C++, there you go. You see the XYZ Demo 1 project right there. And so you go down here to specify the name of your new project. Let's talk about naming. So this is critical right here. You'll want to name your project, and there'll be a folder that you'll want to use the same name as, and the DLL and the C++. So all those will use the same name. So you need to come up with a good naming convention for your indicator or indicators. In the previous video, we made up a fictional company, XYZ Trading. So let's stick with that. So you want to use like a 2 or 3 or 4 character prefix for the name of your entity or organization. We're using XYZ, and so I'm going to lead off the name of all my indicators with XYZ, and then you'll do the name of the indicator. So let's say we're doing a moving average, just something simple. So I might call it XYZ moving average, and I like to camel case it like that. You don't have to do that. You could do something like all caps XYZ MA or XYZ _ MA. So a lot of flexibility there, but you're going to be naming several different things, that same thing. So choose the naming convention. I kind of like camel casing it like this, XYZ moving average. And you want to start them with the same character, then they'll show up. If you have 5 or 6 or 7 indicators, they'll all show up right next to each other in the Add Indicator window in InvestorRT. So I'm going to choose the name of XYZ moving average. I want to match that name down here. This will be the name, the location of the folder. It'll create that folder. And I'm going to click OK here. And now we've got a new project. You'll see it still has that XYZ Demo1.c++ file. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to remove that. And it still has the header file. So everything is set up properly here. Let's go review the properties real quick of the project. Now for some reason the debugging properties don't come in. So it appears you're going to have to reproduce those. So let me fill those in again. Let me remind you what we need to do there. And again, below the video on the LensSoft page, I'm going to put everything you need to do when you're creating this new project from a template. I'll put the paths that you can just copy and paste in again. So as we learned in the last video, you'll have to enter the command, the working directory, and choose Attach Yes. So those 3 things you're going to have to fill back in. In the General tab, we're going to change the target name. So we're going to enter the new name, XYZ Moving Average. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that to my clipboard so I can use that. In Linker General, you'll need to change that name of the DLL that we're going to create. So I'm going to just type in, again, I'm going to just paste that because I copied it in my clipboard. And that's it as far as project setup. Now let's talk about the files. On the lensoft.com page where you launch this video, we've shared a file called xyzDemo0.cpp. That's a source file. That's the ground zero source file you're going to use to build upon. So grab that file and keep it handy. You'll be using it. You'll likely be using it as you create new projects. So let's go to this folder. In the users folder, the InvestorRT RTX folder, you'll see that when we created our project, it created this xyzMovingAverage folder for us. That's where we want to place we're going to open that folder, and that's where we want to place our xyzDemo0.cpp file. So I just pasted that in. Now we need to rename it to the same name as our RTX project, which is xyzMovingAverage. So now that our file's in place, let's go back to our project and add that file to the project. I'm going to right click and add existing item, navigate to the proper folder and add the file we just added and renamed. Now let's take a look at the source file. I'm going to open it up, and you'll see a variety of places. If you just search for demo, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to search for demo. Every time I find demo, that's probably an opportunity where you can change it to something more suitable to the name of your moving average or your RTX indicator. So you can change the text here. This is just a comment at the top. That's optional. A lot of this stuff I'm going to show you here, you don't have to change, but you can. This enumeration, I'm going to change that to, let's say in this case, I'd probably use xyzMA, something like that. So now I'm just going to go down, and wherever I see these capital demos, that's just enumeration. I'm going to change it to, so I'll change all those to xyzMA, and right here I'll change this to xyzMovingAverage, and you can put whatever description you want to put there for it. So just a few things you'll want to update, just changing the demo text, and like I said, a lot of this is optional. We'll talk more about all of this as we move forward through the videos, and we'll call this xyzMovingAverage. Okay, so that's it. So, and coincidentally, this RTX just does compute a simple moving average. So that really is what it actually is. It's just very basic calculation where it does a very efficient calculation of a moving average and draws that as dots. So it's very minimal code that you can use if you'd like, but you'll probably just be ripping it out and using some of the stuff I show you in subsequent videos. So let's see if we get a clean compile. I'm going to right click and choose rebuild. And it did succeed. So we built our DLL. We can go back to in our InvestorRT folder. We can look at the DLL folder, and we'll see now we have our DLL. So everything's in place as InvestorRT would expect it. So we should be able to add this RTX indicator to InvestorRT now. So I'm going to launch InvestorRT. And in the extensions folder within the object manager, I do some new indicators. So I'm going to click on that. As we learned in the last video, you need to delete it, so it deletes the DLL, and then you can rebuild and run it from Visual Studio. So I'm going to click on that and click delete and let that do its work. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to run my project. And now in InvestorRT, I can hit the insert key, go down to my XYZ, and I can see I have XYZ moving average. We'll make this, let's say, a 30-period moving average, add and close, and there it is. Now you can place breakpoints in your code, edit and continue. You can start building upon this basic RTX implementation. And so in the next video, we finally start to get coding. Next video, I'll start showing you how to add and manipulate controls, enable, disable, move them into proper positions based on the positions of other controls, or whether another checkbox is checked, we're going to enable or disable or show hide other controls. So a lot of that kind of stuff will be done in the next video. Then we'll move on to a video on drawing, the drawing function and the calculation function, and then we'll add additional videos as we need to from there to show you maybe some of the trickier parts of the calculation function or the draw function. But I hope this video showed you how to easily create a new project from a template that we created from the project we created last video. So hopefully that'll help you get started with each new RTX project you're creating. If you have any questions about this video, please email support@lensoft.com. Thank you.